Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day once more. Taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. Pretty nasty day here for price action. We've got a lot of alerts for, some liquidation calls here. Take a look at this really quick. Bitcoin, $1.59 billion sold in 8 minutes. That was back at 11 a.m. when the price wicked all the way down to 66,000. And then, of course, we got this unusual buying activity shortly after. It comes right back up to where it began. At this point, though, we're getting close to that previous support level, potentially new resistance for us at 67,500. We're going to have to pay attention to that and kind of see what's going on and just double check a few other key factors as well. So we'll take a look at some liquidation. My guess is majority liquidation has been fully swept, but we'll double check that. And I just want to ask quickly, hit the like button, folks. Deeply appreciate the support. We're getting over 100 likes per video, which is actually pretty good. It's somewhere in the range of like 15 to 20% ratio for likes to views, and that's pretty awesome, all things considered. So thanks so much again for being part of that. Let's take a look here, of course, at the back-end data. Left-hand side is the last 7 days liquidation. We can see that we are kind of smack dab in the middle of like this big range, okay? We got a pretty sizable amount at about 65K, also 70K. I'm rounding up a little bit. It's just shy of 70K. In fact, we got some additional late shorts at about 69.4. Keep in mind, they didn't take their shorts to that level. That's not possible. These are liquidation events that could occur based on those trades going in the opposite direction. So generally speaking, the price comes up to that level, they're going to have a pretty bad day, those shorts. There's a possibility of that, but we can't presume. What I'm looking for, hopefully today, is a closure above 67.5. Give us some confirmation that the bulls are still holding the price action, which does appear to be the case for the moment. All right, on the right-hand side, similar scenario here. This is basically the last 30 days liquidation. We can see just heavier concentrations. These numbers are getting a little bit lighter, though, which is a good sign. I think more shorts are securing profits. So it helps me feel a little more comfortable and confident knowing that with a little bit less liquidation, the upside, that's just a positive sign overall in the market. It means that people are actually closing their position in profit. What do you know? That's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, so take a look here. We can see our liquidation delta, more shorts than longs in the market right now. So it just kind of gives us an understanding that people are trying to, or expecting the price to continue lower, which makes sense. That's good. There's good reason behind that. But on the same accord, I think it's a little too early to short. Just, again, my personal opinion, but who am I to talk? I totally missed the opportunity earlier to short from 67.5 to 66K, but who really knew that little dump was going to happen? I mean, really only market makers over at Binance and other exchanges are really going to know that based on the simple fact that they're probably the ones doing it, okay? It's certainly not people like you and I. And to those who, I think I've had a couple of comments recently saying that market makers don't exist. You've got a lot to learn. Anyways, I'll just leave it at that. They're absolutely a real thing. It's not like a UFO or an unexplained phenomenon. These things happen all the time. And yes, it even happens in other markets too. So keep that in mind. Crypto is not the only one. Forex is common. It also occurs as well with traditional markets. Just it's a little less obvious in traditional markets. Okay, so all that being said, daily time frame, what's up? Where are we at here, Bitcoin? What's going on? Well, we're still above all moving averages. So folks, again, big surprise, we're still mostly bullish, regardless of how crazy and nonsensical today's trading day was. So that's all well and good. We wicked all the way down to 66K. What does that mean for us here on the macro? Not too much. Everything's kind of par for the course. We're still seeing stochastics pulling back. We're also seeing our MACD trying to diverge, but hasn't fully yet. These things are not super telling, honestly, folks. We've been maintaining this range at 67,000 or higher pretty well since we've been above it. In fact, we've only had a two-day closure at 66,600. Outside of that, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly 8 trading days out of the last 10 have been above 67,000 as far as the daily candlestick closure, which implies the bulls have control of the market right now. Okay, the bears are trying to push it down. They keep getting stopped out, and it doesn't seem to go much further. So there's a very positive sign that implies our point of control is at 67,000 range, 67.3 to be precise. All the more reason why I'm looking for a 67.5 or higher close today. It doesn't have to be exactly 67.5, but pretty close to that level because that's been this little notorious area or range that Bitcoin's been working within. Either way, above it generally is a favorable sign. So let's take a look here at the 4-hour time frame. We can see this monstrous candle here with a tremendous amount of volume. When it comes to moving averages, we're below the 50, but above the 20 tentatively. So again, being 67.5, just say 68K is a better estimate, would put us in a much better situation to have more confidence in taking it along. That's all it is to it, or all there is to it. In this case here, having one moving average above the price isn't super detrimental. I like to be above the 20 when I trade, though. In most cases, that's the initial trend that I prefer to follow. So again, keep this in mind, folks. Simple moving averages are not resistances or support levels. They're simply areas of average price and letting us know roughly if it's a good value or if it's not, right? That's kind of how that works. Same thing with RSI too. When we're under 50 and the RSI is generally construed as a bearish scenario where this coin is considered to be a good value. Now you'd think that that's kind of odd, right? Why is the RSI being low and that being established or considered as to be a good value as a resistance? Well, the truth is when you break below a key level, 67.5 for example, it has to work as a resistance until it proves otherwise. So right now, we can see that pretty definitively here on the RSI. It's really common for the RSI 50 to fall on key level supports or resistances. So me personally, that's just kind of a quick barometer. Hey, we're not above that resistance. Probably not a good idea to take a long just yet. Again, I prefer to wait for confirmation. To me, confirmation comes in multiple ways, and being above 50 and the RSI is one of those confirming factors. We can see here that we got MACD still trying to diverge. Everything's looking moderately bearish, but it's not as bad as you think. Either way, we are still below this local point of control at 67.3, 67.4, pretty much right there. So again, I would recommend a closure at 0.382 higher, or higher rather. That is basically the local fib level here based on this retracement period here. So as we can see, we got a pretty solid support at 66,800. Hypothetically, the price pulls back. We may see a bounce there, but we are descending here, folks. Okay, so we got to recognize that's another reason not just to kind of jump into a long position. Sorry, let me go ahead and pull this up a little clearer for you. Because if you kind of look at this here, you know, we can see this descending type of trend that's semi-concurrent with the 20-day SMA. So a lot of times when I go ahead and draw out some trends, I'll draw it out kind of like this to give me a perspective of where we're at. I'll update our playout chart here on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you can kind of see specifically what I'm thinking. I know the chart looks a little messy right now. I've got a lot of different lines here, but majority of those are key level supports and just fib levels kind of complicating the price action here if you're not familiar with what they are. But the truth is we did not break free from this bullish rectangle, which was expected minus that massive dump. So hypothetically, the price should have continued higher. Instead, we performed in scenario B, alternatively, where the price just continued lower, and now we're potentially range bound between 66.8 and 67.5. So me personally, I think we're going to probably see some range bound activity here, quite likely heading throughout the weekend. I wouldn't expect a tremendous amount of volatility this weekend, considering what we saw here today, unless Asia opens up with a pretty strong buying or selling pressure. But between now and then, again, we close over 67.5. There's a solid chance we will see a continuation higher. That again is just an area of affirmation, if you will. It lets me know that being above that level, I feel more confident taking a trade. Right now, we can presume that 67.5 is a round number, is that resistance, and it may continue to perform because Bitcoin has been very good or bad, depending on how you look at it, at range-bound trading, and then it breaks out really hard and really fast. So at this point, the price came from above, so hypothetically, we could expect the price to inevitably break down lower with a bearish type of rectangle if we establish that type of trend. Okay, a lot of things need to happen between now and then. Last thing I forgot to look at here is the Ichimoku cloud, and this is generally construed as a no-buy zone when you're within the cloud. All the more reason why being above the resistance makes a lot more sense to take a long than below. We also have the lagging span is free and clear to the downside. That's generally construed as a bearish sign, and conversion line and baseline are intersecting or together. So this, my folks, is what I refer to as a lose-lose situation, not a zero-sum game, but it's a situation where the price action, in either direction, it could go either way, right? So why take a trade with less confidence when there's not a lot of confirming factors? So again, as I mentioned before in my Twitter, Telegram, or Discord post, it's simply put, it's best to not trade the market right now. It's just kind of the way that it is. And I know it's tough to miss out on opportunities and all that, but I like to be the voice of reason. At this point, the best trade is no trade, okay? It's really what it boils down to. So hopefully that makes sense, and I helped clarify a few things. Obviously, again, in this case, we're like, it's almost literally a flip of a coin. It would make sense for the price to range bound between 66.8 rather, and 67.5 until we break free from that range. So that's kind of where we're at there. Not that exciting, but it is what it is. Comment below, like, subscribe, follow if you haven't already, folks. Check out Bitunix too, phenomenal exchange. Excellent rewards if you use my link to register, and awesome deposit rewards too. These guys are great, so check them out. They've been good to us. No KYC or VPN. Hope you have a good one. We'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thanks again for your time.